My top bars this year have been packed. So what do you do when they're packed? Split the hives. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So this hive is really full. This hive was getting full last week. It's probably full now. This hive I kind of checkerboard a little bit. I'm letting them make me some honey before I split again. But this one I'm going to split into this new box that's down here. So I'm looking for frames with plenty of, as you can see, this is all the way to the top. Got all these bees. So as I get these are all wax building bees. These goes through different phases. So I'm just going to dump these in here. I'm even going to put that bar right there. It still smells like their hive, so they might climb up to it. Other ones might kind of climb out. And they're going to climb to edges where they feel secure. So they're kind of climbing to that front part where I just close those off. So, as you can see, I have about 4 bars left. They've started cross-combing this because they're making honey, but that's all new comb with some nectar in it. So again, I'm going to dump some more of these wax builders in here. I got to be careful because this is new comb and it's kind of heavy already, so I don't want to shake it too much. So I'm just going to shake off what will come out. I'll take this bar just to get it out of the way. Now as they get in there, it starts to smell like their pheromone. The more bees, the more they pass around that pheromone. So they're eventually going to start kind of fanning that pheromone around, saying that, thinking that the queen's in there when she's not. Not too worried about the queen being back this far, because this is a top bar, and I already see this honey. So once the queen hits honey in a top bar, like this, or nectar, she's not going to pass that. So they've already have this going. So that's all nectar, so she's not going to be back here. Now the next one up, she has laid in some. And I also want to split this because it's starting to get a little cross-combed, and I don't like that. See how they build honey and drone a little bit thicker than the rest? Alright, I'm going to take a look for the queen, see what I have in here. So I have some worker. So this is worker brood. That's that bubbled out drone brood. I'm just going to do a quick check, make sure the queen's not on here. Trying to look in these little cells here, the empty ones, and see what they are. See if I can see eggs, which I see really small larvae in there. And that larva in those cells is what I want. So larvae within the first 3 days of their life. And I do not see the queen. I see some drones. So I'm going to shift this one over to the next. Actually, I'm going to leave this. It has a little bit more drones. I don't want to put drones in a split. They tend to cause more. They kind of take the resources away rather than add them. And with a split where they have, 20-ish, 25, 30 days before the new queens will start to lay, I just don't want them taking that from them. Alright, so this is a lot of drones. So with this at the back, what's going to happen is the drones are going to hatch out, which you see that little guy coming out now. This bug eyes coming out, there you go. So the drones are going to hatch out, and since these cells are already big, the bees are just going to backfill them in with honey. So I'm leaving all these to the back. And like I said, I definitely don't want to take that one. There's a lot of drones on it, so I don't want to dump them in the new hive either. I'm looking for nurse bees also is what I'm trying to find. And the nurse bees will be on the open brood that we find. Alright. So This I got a lot of closed brood, which is good. That's what I want to see. And I like to move some of this over, so these that hatch out will start to go to work in the new one. So, kind of looking what else is in there. It looks like some already have, and I don't see the queen. But what I do see on these sides, all these queen cups. So I'm going to look and try to see if there's any larvae. I mean, there's a bunch, so they're probably getting ready to swarm. Yep. So it's hard to see down in there, but there is a little larva. So there's a point where it's kind of too late, and some people will move the queen to a new hive and kind of simulate that as her swarming. Some people say that works, some people say it doesn't. But with these cells already started, because there's so many bees in here, I'm just still gonna split them, and I'm gonna put them in here. If I need to strengthen up either hive later, I can pull from the other ones. So taking these queen cups, and that saves, you know, several days of them having to make a new queen, so it works out really well. Okay. So this looks like one that I checkerboarded last week. They still haven't started really building on it yet. Alright, then we got this guy. Alright, so I don't see any queen cups on this one, at least not as many as were on the last. There's a small possibility we might be able to kind of stifle that swarming urge, but I'm not holding my breath on it. It's pretty warm, so even a few bees will do fine with me feeding them. Here's another one. If you can see, it's already a little flimsy because it's new, so I'm going to put it back down how it belongs. It's kind of heavy. I looked, I did not see the queen, so I'm going to take this one also and put it in the door. Just right beside the other one. If it does get cold at night, they're going to cluster. So I want to give them, if they cluster into a ball, I want them to be able to have heat around that brood. All right. So here's another new one. I'm going to look in the sun. I'm looking for that reflection of eggs, which I don't see here. Yeah, I don't see any eggs quite in this one yet. So I'm going to put this one back. And it's possible that because this hive is so spread out, and because how the brood was spread out and there wasn't that much honey in the back, it's possible that they weren't getting the full queen pheromone, and that maybe that's why they were kind of triggering that swarming thing, because I have not seen any other swarm cells on these other ones. Alright, so here's another good one, a brood. Gonna blow on them a little bit to get them out of the way. Let's have a close up. All right. Still no queen. Good amount of brood. So I might give this one a little shake just to relieve some of that that pressure. Some of the bee pressure. It does look like there's some eggs and some young larvae in here, so that means there's some nurse bees on here, so I'm going to give it a little shake just to put those in the new hive, but not too hard because it's not supported that well. So as I shake it, they fall in there, and if you can see them at the bottom, they're running back to where it looks secure. And again, it still smells like there's a queen pheromone in there, because the other bees have it and they're still spreading it around. Alright, I want to put this in the hive. And as I put these bars back, as I put them in, it'll save me time in the long run if I go ahead and put them side by side instead of keeping them spread out. This next one's a checkerboard from last time. So, did relieve that pressure, it looks like. I do see eggs in this one, so the queen's laid here. So we should be seeing her pretty quick. So that's good. And again, no swarm cells since the ones we saw in the very back. All right. So here we have to remember that as all of these all that brood, once it hatches out, we'll even put more pressure on this hive to swarm if it's too full. So that's what we kind of got to plan a little bit ahead for. Trying to look. Still do not see the queen. Got some drones. Got a little bit of drone brood at the top. Yeah, still don't see any queen cells, so that's a very good sign. I'm making extra sure that I do not see the queen because I'm probably going to shake some of these bees in.
Is that her?
Where? There? That's a drone.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, these drones this time of year make it hard to tell between the queens sometimes as they're moving. You can see how much bigger they are than the worker bees. Slide it back down beside it. Yeah, and we've had some really warm days, and I looked in the 10-day forecast, and it's still not going to get super cold. So I feel comfortable splitting these. All right. So still no queen, but lots of brood. So this might be the last comb that I give them. This is a double check when I see Sierra on that side.
No.
No. I do not see her. Like I said, if we put her in the new one, it's not the end of the world. These guys will make a new queen. They have plenty of population. So I'm going to get to the front. All right, so I'm going to keep checkerboarding. So I'm putting these empty ones back in. Let me pull this last one out. Well, it's not last one, but. Although it's okay if the queen goes, I would like to know where she's at. This one has a lot of pollen in it. This would be a good one to move over. Yeah, and again, no swarm cells, just on that furthest back one. You didn't see her, right?
Mm-mm.
What? No? Alright. So I'm putting this one straight in. This is the resources. I'm also going to feed these ladies sugar water. put this in. Alright, so my front's on the other side. I'd already taped it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift this up, carefully carry it over here to the new stand. Got my normal feeder. I'm actually going to move. If I lift this up, there's going to be a lot of bees that have already started collecting around it. So I'm going to put this delicately on the bottom, if I can. Just enough. I'll just leave it at that. Pop this in. And at this point, all I have to do is close everything back up and I'm done. I'll check on these in about 10 days. My plan is to let them make, well, they got the queen cells in there. I might check on them a little bit sooner. See if the queen cells are capped. Maybe by next Tuesday, I'll give them a week. If the queen cells are capped, I might split some of my Langstroths, cut out some of those extra queen cells and put them in Langstroth, so it's more efficient. That's the issue with splitting all these hives, is you're losing 25 to 30 days trying to get them to make a new queen. Being a little more efficient with how these queens are produced helps out a lot. So that's how you do a split.